Okay, generally there are three forms of minor scale. Natural minor, harmonic minor, melodic minor. We do not say, so when we want to say this song is in this key of, like we say in the key of F major, we do not say this song is in this key of F melodic minor, no, or F harmonic, we just say F minor, okay? Because in composing the F minor, then you can use, harmonic and melodic scales interchangeably within the song. So we don't kind of want to create more complications so we just say F minor or whatever, E minor or whatever. So, but I'll just give a quick distinction. Already you know that, like I said, you can always refer back to the original piece where we discussed about this in detail. Natural minor is just the relative of your natural major or your major scale. Your major scale, for example, when we do relative major, okay? We've done relative major. What's the relative major of A? C. So it means if you write the scale of C, for example, remember the scale of C, major scale, C major, is what? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? Does that make sense? Good. Now, where does your relative minor start? Yeah, am I right? So it means so the relative minor is A minor. Good? So it means don't change anything, just the way it is. The only thing is that you are now starting from A. The key signal, everything remains the same. You are not adding anything. So you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So you are just using the same accidentals or that are found in the relative major. You are using it. You are not adding anything or removing anything. You are just readjusting, repositioning the notes. You are repositioning the notes so that the 7th degree in the major scale now becomes the tonic for the minor. So that's natural minor. So you are not adding anything. So basically, you are not going to be examined on this because it's just, it's trivial, all right? But the two that you are going to be examined on is this and this. Now, you are not going to be examined on these two simultaneously. You'll be asked to use any one you are okay with. You must be able to know the two and then use, so you don't mix them up in the exam. If you are using harmonic, let it be clear it's harmonic you are using. If it is melodic you are using, let it be clear that it is melodic minor you are using. Okay, so I'll just give you the differences between the two and make one example, and that will be okay because I'm not trying to repeat everything I've taught before. Okay, now let me still use this example. So remember, this is, for now, everything here now is what? A natural, because it's just natural, But harmonic, and it's the same thing, just like major. When you are ascending, you are descending the same way. Natural minor too. When you ascend, you descend. So the natural minor, we use the key signature of its relative major. So if you put this on the stave, already you can see that there are no accidentals. So it means in the key signature, no accidentals. It's using the key signature of C major, which is no accidental. Okay. So when you look at the minor key, what's the key signature? What is the relative major? The key signature is the relative major. Whether it's harmonic, whether it's melodic, whether it's natural, key signature is always that of the natural major. Okay. Now, for harmonic minor, number one, ascending and descending are the same, are similar, just like your major scale. When you ascend, it's the same way you descend. Number two is, the only difference in number two is you sharpen the 7th degree of the natural minor. You sharpen the 7th degree of the natural minor. So what does that tell us when you sharpen the 7th degree of the natural minor? It tells us that there will be 3 semitones, all right, between the 6th and 7th degree. That is just the difference. This is the key difference. There will be 3 semitones between the 6th and the 7th degree. Why? Because we are sharpening the 7th. So this is our natural minor. So if I want to do, of course, you can get your intervallic structure, you know, like, is it tone, semitone, semitone? You can do all those that. I don't have it on top of my head, but you can search it about. I don't even need to worry. What I just need to do is, what's this? Okay, what's the major scale? Write out the major scale. Then I rewrite everything, starting from the 6th note to the just natural. And then I just sharpen the 7th, and that's harmonic. So like now, everything here is natural. If I want to make it harmonic, just sharpen this. Okay? Just sharpen this. So this already makes it harmonic. It doesn't matter whether it's ascending or descending. Now, hold on. If you have this, you have your staves, because I don't want to waste time to start drawing stave. All right? If you have your stave, and in your stave, there are different notes everywhere, and then you see that only G is being sharpened. And they ask you, what is the key? So don't cry and say, this is sharp. What key is sharp? You know that there is no major scale that has G sharp as the only sharp. If it is F sharp, we can say it's G major, right? So there is no major scale that has G sharp. Your mind should start telling you that this looks like a minor scale. Then you ask yourself, okay, after G, because normally after the sharpen, then the next note is the key. Because after you sharpen, it is A. So what's that? G is sharpened. Then what's the note after G? A. That means this looks like A minor. How will I confirm that it's A minor? There is no other sharp or flat. Because remember, A minor is natural, just like this. So there is no sharp or flat in the key signature or any other place, apart from that G sharp. So the same thing with other notes, with other harmonic minors too. What other harmonic minor did you do? I think you did D harmonic minor. Yeah. So in D harmonic minor, yeah, you did it. So in D harmonic minor, what major scale is it going to duplicate? F. So that means in D harmonic minor, I should see a B flat, right? I should see a B flat. So if I want to write D harmonic minor, let me say D minor, I should have D, E, F, G, A, B flat, all right? Because it's mimicking F major, right? C, D, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Yeah, C sharp. Okay. If you don't put the C sharp, then it's natural. Okay, so you see? So if you see, I'm just trying to say, if you see, for example, what is happening here? I'm seeing flat, I'm seeing sharp on the same scale. Because natural major scales don't have sharps or flat. It's either all sharps or either all flats. That's why we say sharp and flat family. But I'm seeing sharps, I'm seeing flat. Number one, know that it's likely going to be a minor scale. Then you have to find out that note that is sharpened could be the 7th sharpened note. Okay, what's the note after it? D. It is D. Then what is the relative major of D? F. Maybe that's why they flatten B. Or maybe you see it on the key signature, B flat on the key signature. But on the notes, you are seeing C sharp coming up. Then you should know that this is F major, all right? In terms of the key signature, it belongs to F major. Then what's the relative minor? D. Then the note before that is sharpened, C. So you have to be technical in doing these things. You have to understand. It's not something for you to cram. It's something for you to understand it. It's music. Okay, so there are different ways to think about it. There are just, so it's not like you just see it. So you have to be very, and so this is quite very straightforward. It's very easy, very simple. Okay, that's the harmonic minor, right? Melodic minor is a bit, you will still need to know it. You can't run away from it. Even if you don't want to do it now, next grade, you will still, so it's better you know it. Melodic minor is, the ascending is different from the descending. Okay? In the ascending, so let me squeeze in here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but in the ascending, what do? The 6th and the 7th notes are sharpened. All right? Are sharpened only when this ascending. But when you are descending, you remove the sharps. So when you are descending, it is natural. Natural minor when you are descending. So the only difference in the melodic minor is I'm ascending, it has to be 6th and 7th note sharpened, but when I'm descending, then I have to remove the sharp and go back to the natural minor. Okay, so now let's look at the examples we've done and see from this. So let's go back to A. Let's assume this is, want to do A melodic minor, ascending. All right, 1. So it means we have to sharpen F as well, am I right? So we have to sharpen F as well. So you could see that 6 and 7 are sharpened. Now, if you see sharp, sharp, don't go and think, this looks like G major, F is sharpened. It's not G major, because if it's G major, G will not be sharpened. I know F is sharpened in G major, but G is not sharpened in G major. Yeah. So your mind you have to start doing all the calculations. Is it harmonic or melodic? Why are they having them? Most likely, so you have to kind of think about it. So if you see two sharps that shouldn't naturally be together, then you are like, why are these two sharps here? Okay, let me start from the last sharp. Normally start from the last sharp to go to the next note, because now the last sharp is G, then the next note should be the minor. Okay, because so what's the last? Okay, G. Okay, is that A? Okay, now look at this also. But when you are descending, all right, you have to remove these two sharps and go back. Everything just natural. Okay, how do you remove these two sharps when you are descending? What will you add? Natural. You add the natural sign. If you don't add the natural sign, remember, except there is a byline. If there's no byline, the sharp continues. So you have to add the natural sign when you are descending to show that, hey, I don't want the baggage of this sharp when so things. Okay, so now let's look at this last one. D, E, F, G, A. This is 6th and 7th. Now, melodic, we need to sharpen this as well, right? So how do we do this now? What do we do here? What do you do here? Because we need to sharpen this. We need to raise it by a semitone.
So you can make it B.
B. You make it B. How do you make it B?
You remove the flat.
I just carry the flat and throw away. How do you remove the flat, Emanuela? You had a natural sign. Now, you had a natural sign if there is key signature. If there is key signature, because the key signature we have B flat, all right? So that means anywhere you see the note B is B flat. If you don't want to be B flat, you have to add the natural sign. But if there is no key signature, are you listening? If there is no key signature, you don't need natural sign. Just write, because anything you write there is B, is carrying B. You don't need to add natural again. It's just like, that natural is not doing any work, because what are you removing? You're only removing if it's there. So this, in this case then, will be B. So you have A, B. So when you see something like this and you see only C sharp, number one, there is no major scale that has only C sharp, so it can't be a major scale. Then you have to go to the minor, okay? How do you know what the minor is? Go to the next note, D. Is this D harmonic or D melodic? How do you know whether it's harmonic or melodic? What is the natural equivalent? What is the major? You understand? The major scale, the relative major. In this case is F. So I should see a B flat if it is harmonic. I should see it, but now that I'm not seeing a B flat, I'm just seeing B, 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 then that means they must have sharpened. So this is melodic. So number one, know whether it is major or minor key first. If it is, it's simple to know if it's major key. If you just find out this is everything there is major, everything there. If you are convinced that it's not major, okay, fine. Is it now harmonic or melodic? And the way you do it is by checking out that sharpened note, this last sharpened note, whatever is the last sharpened note on the scale. The next note after it should be the minor. Then look for the relative major, and then see whether there is a sharpened sixth or not. Already you've gotten the sharpened seventh. That's why you got the minor. So what you just want to find out now is whether there is a sharpened sixth or not. Although it's very simple to know, but by the time you do it more and more, you'll be able to get better at it. So that's all about minor scale. Any question?
I think the question I have is about the tone, semitone, tone, semitone, and then.
What's that?
I mean for minor scale.
Yeah, so I don't want to confuse myself with that, because you have to do it for melodic, you have to do it for harmonic, you may just mix the whole thing up. Okay. Just understand the concept. It's through this concept they got those things. You can sit down and get it. You understand? But just know what the concept is. Get your natural minor. Once you get a natural minor, sharpen the seventh. You don't need all those.
I know it's not getting the exam,
but you should also know where the semitones are. Anyway. Yeah. Do you know, once you write out your scale, you should know where your semitones are. For example, of course, you know this is semitone, okay? And where else do you have semitone? So you can just say semitone is between second and third.
What about the E?
Which E? This is a tone.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, if this is harmonic,
yeah.
If it's harmonic, then it's a semitone, because this will not be there. But for melodic, it's a tone.
But it's, anyway, I will ask after the class, because the last one, I have confusion. The book is saying it's semitone. Another article I was reading was telling me it's tone.
Yeah, so it depends on maybe what you are looking at. If it's melodic or harmonic. So you have to clarify. What the question may be talking about melodic, the book is talking about harmonic. Yeah. So you have to reconcile those two concepts. Okay. Okay, so we're almost there. So let's just keep running and we'll go to tonic tryouts. Let's see, tonic. So the tonic triads you have here is not different from the tonic triads you've done before, okay? It's not different from the tonic triads you've done before. It's just now you are adding new keys, both minor and major. Okay, so but let's just make a kind of refresher based on what we've done before. So we'll talk about the other forms of triad, but they're only examining you on tonic triad. So tonic triad simply means, well, what does it mean? That you will always have three group of notes, right? Or three notes. Let's say three notes, okay? Three notes. The first note will always be the First note will always be the what? The first note out of those three will always be the tonic. That's why it's tonic triad. That's why it's tonic triad. The first note will always be the tonic. Simple. So anytime you are giving group of notes or something, oh, you have this note, that note, and they ask you, what is the first? And let me just give you a cue. The cue is that for your level, they will not, what they will ask you should be between C, F, G, maybe once you've done now A, B flat, E flat, these are major, all right? Or like we've done, you could be asked A, D, E minor. So if you get a tonic triad and it's telling you is B, that the tonic triad is B, no, it's not correct because you're not supposed to be doing B. You understand? It's a tonic triad based on, because the tonic is the key. So these are the keys you have kind of done. Okay, so now it's fundamentally the same. You know, once you get your tonic, you can build up the other two notes together. So for example, I'll just do one example and I think that should be it. So let's say you have this and you have to be very articulate. So let's say you have this, right? Let's try bass because if I ask all of you to choose soprano. All right, so let's say you have this. And it can be with key signature or without key signature. So don't allow this to always deceive you that anything is there is C. No. Okay. All right, so you have these two notes. Complete it to make a tonic triad and tell me what's the name of the tonic triad. Okay, so do we agree that the complete, because the completion note must not always be down. It can be anywhere. All right. So in this case now, there are two possibilities. It can be here, or it can be here. Right? Now let's see which of these two possibilities is the correct answer. That's how you know. There will always be kind of two possibilities, especially when the two notes are together. If the two notes are not together, it's simple, just put it in the middle, right? If they put one at the first and put the other one at the fifth, just know it's the middle one that is meeting. You just put it in, and then the first one is the name of the tonic. The only thing you have to know whether it is major or minor. Good. All right, so let's see how it goes. Let's start with the up one. If we do this, if we put the note here, what will the tonic be? What's this tonic? What's this note? F, right? F. Okay? F. Is that correct? F, A. So this is also correct. F major, right? Is correct. Yeah. And I don't know how I got this type of question. If you put it here too, what do you get? What's the tonic here? D, right? But is it D major? Why is it not D major? It could be D major. Why? Because it's supposed to be F sharp. If this has F sharp, then it's D major. Do you understand? Do you understand? Are you sure? If you don't understand, don't assume you understand. You are the one that will write the exam. Okay, but do you understand the first one I did? This one, are you sure? Good. So, know the tonic first. Know the name of the letter first. The name of the letter is what? D. Right? My question is now, is it D major or is it D minor? Then I say, okay, let me start from D major. If it's D major, what is the scale of D major? D, E, F sharp, right? And then you keep going till you get to C sharp again, right? So this should be D, E. What should this be? So it means this cannot be D major then. It's not D major. The key is not D major. Yes, the note is D tonic triad, but the key is not D major. Do you understand? Because if the key is D major, it should be, this should be F sharp. So it means it's likely to be D minor. All right? It's likely to be D minor. The reason, now you don't need to bother whether it's D melodic or D harmonic. It won't affect tonic triad because you have not gotten to the 6 notes or the 7 notes. So just D minor. So whether you say melodic or harmonic is the same in this case. So, because in D minor, what's the relative major of D minor? F. So it's B flat we are expecting, all right? So we expect B flat, but there is no B here, so there is no flat, so we don't even want, so every other thing is natural apart from the B flat and the 7th note we are going to sharpen, which is, so D, that's why this is now, in this case, if you put it here, is D minor. And then this is F. If you put the note up, it's F major. You get the point? So it's just, this is just very tricky. Yeah, but you should read the question very well. They may ask you to put the note at the bottom. Then in that case, they may give you specific, in something like this, they may give you specific instruction and say, add each note at the bottom, all right? They can ask you to add the note, the first note, and tell us what to add. They're telling you just add this note. They've told you where to add the note because they want to test whether you'll be able to denote whether this is D major or D minor. Because they know if they leave you and they just say, identify, if you put it here, you are correct. If you put it here, you are correct. So they may give you specifics. They don't give you specifics, then you have to try the two and see which of them falls on a key that you have been taught and that makes sense when you write out the scale. So when you write out the scale, there should be no sharp that is not sharpened, or there should be no flat that is not flattened. All right? So if they give you, they may say, oh, okay, write this on a particular line. Maybe put the tonic. They may ask you to add the tonic. If they ask you to add the tonic, they're already telling you that this cannot be the tonic. Okay? That you should add the tonic. So it means something lower than this should be, so it means this should be the tonic. Already you have to. This cannot be the tonic, this cannot be the tonic, something here should be the tonic. So I put this, so this means, so if you had this, then now if they tell you that, they are only testing you on the key signature to know whether you can identify the key, because they know this can be confusing because you have been taught D major and D minor. All right? You've been taught D major and D minor. You've been taught A major and A minor. So those two, other ones you have been taught one, you've not been taught the other. So if it's F, you know it's F major, you've not been taught F minor, right? If it is G, you know you've not been taught G minor, you've been taught G major. But things like D and A, you have to be very careful because you've been taught both major and minor. So you have to make sure that if you're saying it's A major, it's A major. If you're saying it's C major, F, D minor is D minor.
Or E.
No, you've not been taught E major.
Oh, yeah.
So if you see E, just know it's E minor. All right? So, does that make sense? Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. So that's all about tonic triads. Do we have any question? Okay. All right. So we're now going to go to let me see what next we have. What next we have is degree names. No, simple don't. So intervals, simple intervals. Intervals. So simple intervals. So simple intervals, we've done it in grade 1, is the same thing. Just count the numbers above the note, including the notes that are mentioned. Okay? They're only telling you to just tell us the number. Okay. So if they ask you, what is the interval between C and E? What's the interval between C and E? 3. A third. You say third, not 3. Right? You are correct, but just put it in position. What's the interval between C sharp and E? How is it 2? How did you count it?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay. Do you understand the interval between C and E? How is it counted? C, D. So you count from this, C, D, E. 1, 2, 3. Now for this, is the letter you count. Forget about this, the accidentals, because you're only dealing with number. You understand? You're just dealing with the number, it's the letter. So what letter do you have here?
C.
D, E. So it's still a third. All right? So what's this, Naomi? A third. So you could see all these are thirds. Of course, they will put this for you on a stave. So it's not just going to be, sometimes they will put it for you like this. So you have to just be able to identify it. So let's say this. So you have to count from down to up. Okay? So let's say, so you have this. So they ask you, what's this? This is just C sharp to E, am I right? So the interval is 1, you count 1, then you count the line 2, then you count the next one 3, so it's a third. So just count, forget about this sign, just count the space, the line, the space, just like that way. So this is going to give you a third. It doesn't matter whether it's no need for minor, no need for major here, it's the same thing, just count. And because I wrote it like this, you see, this is when you write it on top of each other, it means these notes are played together at the same time. So that's harmonic. Harmonic. So sometimes you may be given an harmonic structure like this, it's still the same thing, it's a third. Sometimes you can be given what? A melodic structure. What's a melodic structure? If I extend this, for example, this same note, I put this here, and after playing this, I now play this, but I ask you, what is the interval between these two notes? So you see, these two notes are not played together, right? They are played one after the other. So what's the interval between these two notes? Third. A third, yeah. So you are correct, it's a third. So whether it's harmonic or whether it's melodic, it's a third. Okay? Any question? Any question? This is very simple, right? So the last thing, well, this is the last one now, is terms and signs. Of course, you don't expect me to go through all the terms and signs that we've done. You have the video, you can refer back to that. Is that okay? You can refer back to the terms and signs that we've done. But basically what you just need to know is that, like we did, that some signs could relate to what? Tempo. You should know them. The signs that relate to tempo. Can you give me an example of a sign or a term that relates to tempo that we did? Adagio. What does that mean?
Pass. No, sorry.
Good, slow. So yeah. Some.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to say Adante.
Adante, yeah. So you have. So some terms could refer to. So whether this is tempo or speed, what you call speed, Some terms could also refer to what? Could refer to loudness. Do you have example of that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Forte. What does it mean?
No.
I know you know because you are Italian. These are Italian stuff. Yeah. All right. So some signs could refer to what again? Oh, yeah, it's true. But just know that you could also have signs, So you should also know the signs, different signs we have in music. So you'll be given a music piece or a music statement or a music structure, and then you might have some of those signs there, and then you may be asked to identify them and say the meaning or things like that. So you just need to memorize them. You just need to some of them you don't need to memorize because you just see them, you kind of tell you what it looks like. Okay? Yeah, so it tells you how to perform the music. So these are just things that we need to kind of put in perspective. But otherwise, I think we've done well to go through everything we've covered in grade 2 from reading to terms and signs. So you just have to still find time to mop up areas that you are still struggling and ensure that you revisit both the preliminary and the primary videos we've done, as well as these revision videos once they become available. And go through the past questions. You have your booklets. You should have done everything by now. And hopefully, I believe in your exams, you should be able to score well. So I wish you all the best in your exams, and I wish you success.